Hi guys, welcome back to Anastasia Chornaya Show. Today I am going to take you with me to work, and I am going to show you what it's like hands-on to work for a delivery-based company. And this time I am going to show you what it's like working for DoorDash. Are you guys ready? Are you excited? Let's go! I also wanted to tell you how I prepare myself for the work day that I have, and here are the things that I recommend you preparing before you hit the road. And whether you're working a couple of hours or you are going to be on the road the whole day, I do recommend grabbing some snacks with you, because you will be smelling those smells and it will be smelling absolutely delicious, and you're going to start getting hungry. So before you reach into that McDonald's bag to grab a French fry from the customer's bag, yes, people do that. I recommend bringing some snacks with you. So here's what I usually bring, and here's what I usually pack with me. Can we just take a moment and appreciate the color coordination I've got going on here? Oh, I'm here for it. So to give you a bit of an example of what I usually have with me at a snacks is I would have water in the reusable water bag. I got this one on set one time. I also have the ZENB bites this time, the sweet corn ones. If you wanted to learn more about these guys, I actually have a video on this company. I will link it below so you can check it out. Then I have my latest obsession are these Verb Energy. These are vegan bars that have some caffeine in them from green tea if I need a little bit of a boost, because driving can get intense sometimes. And I've got some fruit with me this time. I've got strawberries, the rosé strawberries, and some mango. Keeping track of your miles is the most essential thing to do when you are working for a delivery-based company, because that is what gives you the best tax break there is your miles. So make sure you set that onto the zero every single day so that you are not counting your private miles. Make sure you have a nicely mounted phone mount, which will allow you to have easy access to your phone whenever an order comes in and you need to check something, because you're working on your phone. So it has to be visible at all times. You cannot be holding it in your hand. You will get a ticket. You might cause an accident, and we don't want that. Also, it is important to have a good charger, and I wanted to make sure that I tell you guys what I have. So my phone actually has a charger case, which I always have on, and I also have an extra one, a spare one, which is fully charged always with me, because this type of a work will drain your battery really fast. Okay, once you make sure that everything is ready and set to go for your workday, you can go ahead and turn your app on. So this is what a Dasher app looks like when you open it. It gives you the different zones, the different areas. It breaks down the map, it breaks down your area into, and what you can do is you can select the area that you are in, which is amazing because DoorDash pretty much works almost anywhere. So you select the area that you are in. Right now I'm in the Hollywood Silver Lake area, and then you click Dash Now. The next screen that loads, it's asking you what time you want to dash until, and I'm going to put 2 o'clock right now. And then it's asking you to make sure that you have all of this prepared for your dash. And you got to make sure that you have a charged phone, you've got enough gas in your car, you have the red card and hot bag. And once you submit that you have all of that and you check it off, it takes you to the map, and now you just wait. So usually, oh, the first order just came through, and here's what it looks like. It has a timer. You have about 40 seconds to accept or deny this order, and then it's telling you where to pick it up, what time to deliver it by. It's telling you how much you're going to make for that order, and it's giving you the miles. I think this is great. I'm going to accept this order. Accept. Once you accept the order, it is on your screen and you're ready to go. So let's go, huh? once you arrive onto the location, what you do is you simply mark yourself as arrived at the store so that you can see the details of your order. And right now, we're going to go and pick it up. Let's go. Make sure you receive the correct order. Always check the bags because sometimes the restaurants get really busy, nobody checks the names, and then the wrong kind of order, the wrong order for the wrong customer gets delivered, and that's frustrating for everybody. So here's the hot bag. I keep it in my trunk. I make sure that people receive their food at the temperature it's supposed to be eaten at. So I highly recommend having it, and customers are really appreciative of this little gesture. It's kind of part of your job too, so yeah. As you can see, this is a very fast procedure. It doesn't take much time, especially nowadays. Restaurants do usually have the orders prepared. I want to say 90% of the time you don't have to wait at the restaurant. You know, considering this was a Chipotle and it's a fast food restaurant, so you don't have to wait in general, but I had to wait just a little bit for them to finish packing it up. But it usually doesn't, most of the time, it doesn't take you all that long to pick up the order. So, oh wow, I just received another one. Oh, look at that! Look guys, okay, I just received another order and it pays really well. It's gonna give me extra $8, almost 8.5, and I'm only gonna drive an extra 0.7 miles and I'm picking up from the same restaurant. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm going to add this to my order, and then I am going to mark myself at the restaurant. This is a great thing about DoorDash, is that you can jump in between. This was probably really loud, but I really hope you were able to see it. It's a really hot day. So this is a great thing about DoorDash, is that you can jump in between the orders that you have. If you have two, you don't usually have more than two, and then you just swipe yourself as arrived, and we're gonna go back to the restaurant to pick up the order for the second customer. Another amazing advantage of a hot bag is that right now the first order is going to stay in my car. It's going to stay the same temperature as it's supposed to while I am picking up the second order. So it's a win-win for everybody, and nobody's gonna get frustrated because their food got cold, got too hot, if it's like a hot summer day like it is in LA today, and plus it's staying in the trunk, so it's not affected by the temperature all that much. So I was told to wait, that the order is gonna take about 5 to 10 minutes to finish, so I thought I would take this time to tell you a little bit more about the ins and outs of how this whole system works. So the way the communication between the customer who places the order on the DoorDash platform, the restaurant, and the dasher, it kind of has its own algorithm, and the way it works is that it communicates it through time. So when you receive the order, usually you have about 10 minutes to get to the restaurant. Sometimes it's a little less, sometimes it's just a little bit more, which is timed to give you enough time to get to the restaurant to pick up the order right when it's ready. So of course it sounds great and it sounds perfect in theory, but it doesn't always work this way. And because it sends out the offer to a dasher about 10 minutes before the order is ready, and I was already at the restaurant, that it just naturally means that the order is not going to be ready, which is okay. And I'm okay waiting these days, because if you know, in November of last year, in November 2020, California passed this new proposition, Prop 22 it is called, to where basically this work has become more recognized as an actual source of income and an actual job. And that is just to kind of summarize it and put it in the lamest terms, which basically means that now we do not only get paid by on the basis of an order, which is kind of you start a contract every single time you accept an offer, and then you have to fulfill that contract. You get paid based on that offer, but you also get paid per hour. So depending on the time that you spend waiting at the restaurant, the offer, as you can see, as you saw, the 846 might actually end up being a much higher payout depending on the time I spent on this offer, which means that the time I spent on this order from the time I accepted it until the time I mark it as delivered, if that time is actually greater than what was anticipated by DoorDash, you will get a higher payout at the end of the week based on your time. So I'm not worried. I'm on the clock right now, so I'm okay waiting for this order to get ready. I would recommend you not worrying if you're in California, because the payout is usually really, really nice. The addition that they give for your time is really, really good, and the earnings have gone up by at least $6 per hour for me. And that is what's important to me. The reason why I write down my miles, the amount of hours I work, and the amount of money that I make is that I want to personally know how efficient I am in my work. So with DoorDash, you actually have an opportunity to let the app know what's going on when you're waiting on an order. And I have been working for DoorDash since it appeared here in Los Angeles, since they expanded to Los Angeles. I can tell you for sure that they are the company that is doing the best job to make sure that it fits everybody, that it works for everybody, the customers, the restaurants, and the dashers. It's giving you an opportunity to tell them what's happening if you're spending too much time waiting on it. I like doing it right before I confirm the pickup because the app is still a little bit buggy, so it might drop and you have to do it all over again. So you just let them know what's happening, and this time the order was just, well, actually they did not even start until I arrived, which is okay. It doesn't affect the restaurant, it just makes the app more efficient. So they don't send you the orders from this restaurant too soon, so you have to wait for too long. So this is not a bad thing, this is actually good for everybody. And you submit, and then you confirm that you picked up this order, and then it tells you where to go and where to drop off. This was the first order I picked up. The great thing that I told you about this app is that you can switch, and you can make it more efficient for you, and you can switch between the customers and deliver the order that's closest to you, which the original order is definitely the closest, so I am going to go there. I wanted to show you what happens once you complete the order. You just mark it as complete as a delivery, and then you can give feedback about how you felt about this, and then you just confirm whatever you wanted, and then it gives you the breakdown of how much you made. What's really cool about DoorDash, not everybody likes about this specific feature is that sometimes it would show a different total. So I highly recommend setting up some kind of a system for yourself if you want to be successful in this type of a work. For instance, what I do is I kind of preset, right? In my mind, this is not a physical thing, and I have been testing this out. I've been doing this type of a work for 4 years already. So I have been testing this theory out for a long time, and then at some point I realized that it's not necessarily, efficient to accept only the offers that pay out $20, because usually those offers will get you driving really, really far, will get you driving to an area that doesn't necessarily have any offer to accept you after you're done with this one, or that sometimes it is way more efficient to deliver $5 orders in an hour versus one, $16 order in that same hour. So what I really recommend doing is setting up a small area on your map and be really, really specific with that area. So if an order comes in and it doesn't pay all that well, but it's in your area, set up the minimum of how much you want to get paid per order. For me, it's $5. I don't want to get paid less than $5 per order. I accept it, and then I deliver it, and then I move on. It's usually fast. I know where the parking is, and I don't have to struggle with anything like that. This order that I just received, it's paying out the minimum of $15.50, but it's taken me really far outside of my district, outside of the zone that I have selected for myself. And even though 8.5 miles is not that much for a $15 order, I would opt out of it because it's taken me really far. We're going to wait for the next order because I want to show you what to do when you receive an order that you don't want to take and you want to decline it. So here's an offer that I received in the next offer, right? It's gonna pay $4. It is in my area. If we zoom out, it is, you can see that it's all within the limits of the area that I selected for myself, but it's paying $4. So we are going to decline the order. So what you do is you just click decline, and then it's gonna tell you about your acceptance rate, which acceptance rate, sometimes I have it up to 1%. This does not affect anything. This is just your own statistics. So you still decline it. It gives you a whole list of reasons why you always select one. Always, in any case, you select the one that says distance too far. There's a reason why. If you are selecting any other reason, which for instance, or most of the time will be something that it doesn't pay too well, right? They might consider you to be a fraud and they might deactivate you. When I get home, once I'm done with my dash, what I do is I write down the hours that I worked. I will look at the total of how much I made, and I will break it down hourly so that I am personally keeping track. And I always write down the miles. Right now I drove 6 miles, but that is because I was driving around recording the video for you guys, but the actual miles were only 3 miles. I made $15. I only did the 2 deliveries, and I always write it down. I actually have a calendar where I keep track of all of it, and it is this calendar where I write down the things, the hours that I worked for the delivery, the amount of hours that I worked so far this week. That day I made $31.91 per hour, and then the total miles. Then I put it all together at the end of the week. I write it all down. I'm going to show you. I write it all down like this. I write it out if there was a cash tip, if I paid any parking fees, the total miles for the week, and then I put it all together at the end of the month. I also write the same thing down at the end of the month, and then at the end of the year, when it's time to do your taxes, you are actually prepared and you don't have to spend hours upon hours doing all the math, putting all of your miles together. I think keeping track of your hourly is a really good thing, because you know, it makes you feel better. You can actually see your progress. You can actually see whether your system that you come up with or my system that I have come up with, and you might be giving it a try, whether it's actually working or not. I also wanted to take this opportunity to discuss the ins and outs of the app and the little things that I've learned in the years that I have been doing this. When you go into your app, into your Dasher app, there's a menu at the top that you just click, and it gives you like an extra menu where you can see your earnings, you can see your ratings, and you can do a schedule, which I never do that. I just hop on, hop off. If you're ready to start a dash and then you go on, and let's say you are, well, for instance right now, like Burbank, it's not busy, there's not enough orders, there's maybe too many drivers, so they're not letting any more drivers onto the platform right now, so it's gray, as you can see, comparing to the areas around it. If you are in an area that's gray and you want to start working, don't freak out really fast about not being able to hop on. This is live, so that means that whenever there is like a surge of orders or a lot of drivers, for instance, get off the platform, it will become red, which means that you can hop on and start delivering. One thing that I wanted to talk to you about is the ratings. When you click on the ratings, it will give you 5 different things right here. Not all of it is important. Let's talk about violations. This is the new thing that got implemented last year. So what it does is it basically keeps track of dashers who are not professional, who are not serious enough of this job, and they are late, that they are, you know, doing really, really bad, or dashers who steal food, which happens a lot. Once you are reported and you get a violation, it's not that easy to get rid of it. Don't be too afraid, because when you receive a notification of a violation, it will probably tell you that the customer reported that order never arrived. What it says when you open it is order is extremely late. I'll show you how extremely late it was. It was 18 minutes late. Okay, this is kind of extremely late. So, especially in California, because they are paying hourly, they are way more serious about this. So, if you are working in California, make sure that you arrive at the restaurant on time, because when you receive an order and it is in your dashboard on the app, it will tell you what time you need to arrive at the restaurant by. If you get 4 violations, it's dangerous. It means that you're walking on really thin ice, because if you receive the 5th one, you're out immediately. Rating number 2 is the average customer rating right here. I have a 5.0 star. Look at me, guys. Can we take a moment and appreciate the star delivery dasher person, Anastasia? Round of applause for me, please. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So this is actually what's important, and if your rating goes below 4.2, they can deactivate you. The third one is acceptance rate. 15% acceptance rate. That's not important. Nobody cares about that. This is actually for you personally, just to keep track. If you want to, if you don't, even though it's red 15%, it might be 1%, it doesn't affect anything. So we're just gonna skip over that. The rating number 4, completion rate, right here. The completion rate below 80% will have you deactivated. Keep an eye on that as well. So what that means is basically, if you accepted the order and you said, hey, I promise I'm gonna deliver it, but then you cancel that, that has your completion rate go down. Another rating, which is your on time or early. It actually has grown a lot for me, because they have become really strict with the time management. This doesn't affect your work. It doesn't affect your deactivation and ability to work on this platform. And then the last thing that you will see is your deliveries, the amount of deliveries that you've made. Mine is 4,181 deliveries. This is how much orders I have delivered in the past 3.5 years that I have been working for DoorDash. So when you're working for DoorDash, there are 3 things that you always have to keep in mind if you want to continue delivering for this company, and if you want to continue receiving payments through this company. Is the violations, make sure you do not violate the policies, is the customer rating, make sure people are happy, and the completion rate. So make sure that you complete every order that you deliver. The higher those scores are, the better. I'm not talking about violations. If you have no violations, of course, that's much better. Alright guys, this was my overview on work for DoorDash. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was informative for you and it helped you out. So, thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye.